Time now for my Cowboys mock draft with trades. Before we dive in, I use the Tankathon NFL draft order. Jets, Jags, Bengals, Cowboys, and then the Chargers after that. Now, before we dive in, I am limited by the tools at my disposal. I am using Draft Simulator. That means that the players that were available, it's not always the most realistic, but we're here to have fun and look at some potential targets for the Cowboys. Now, before we get into the Cowboys' first pick, number 4 overall, the way that this went down, to the surprise of should be no one, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Penei Sewell. So what would you do in round 1 then? Would you keep the pick, type in K, or would you rather trade down? If you would rather trade it, I want you guys to type in T. So get your votes in here, K for keep or T for trade. Now, I traded it because I'm a madman, and I traded down pretty darn far. And I did a couple of these options because I wanted to have a good mock draft here. And 13 was about as far as I was willing to go. I thought about Washington or Carolina, but I got a haul back. A second and third round pick this year, a future first, and a future fourth. It's not even the RG3 trade haul, so I think it's somewhat realistic there. And it's a simulator, so deal with it anyway. It is a substantial move down, and I'm glad that the guy I got was still on the board. So I traded down, and I still got Caleb Farley, the cornerback out of Virginia Tech. Patrick Surtain, he was gone. Micah Parsons was gone. Gregory Rousseau was gone. Quiddy Pay was still there. But I wanted a corner, and 13, again, was a little bit risky, and I could have traded it if I had to, but I chose to not do that there. I went with Farley, who opted out of the 2020 CFB season. But as we've mentioned before, and because he's been mocked to the Cowboys at 4 very recently by Dane Brugler, all the tools you want in a corner. He's long, he's athletic, he's got great athleticism, he's fast, great ball skills as well. 2019 for Virginia Tech, 36%. That's the completion percentage that he allowed. 257 yards, that was it. 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions, 12 pass breakups. I'm a big Caleb Farley guy. Now, he's not Jalen Ramsey. He's still a little bit raw. He profiles as more of a press man cover corner. There weren't a ton of press reps for him, but I think he and Diggs on the outside is a really good 1-2 punch there. So I like getting Farley there. So with that in mind, factoring in, I also got 2 borderline, almost 2 top 75 picks and a future first. Grade this pick for me. A, B, C, D, or F. I'm a big fan of it, of course, but let me know what you guys think. Grade it A, B, C, D, or F. Let's go to round 2 then, pick number 36, and I also thought about trading up for Shaun Wade, but I decided to keep my picks this time. Rashawn Slater, the offensive lineman out of Northwestern. Now, teams are going to be concerned about his arm length. It's going to come in under the threshold for most teams. But I think he could be a long-term option at left tackle. 0 sacks, 1 hit, 5 hurries last year at Northwestern. And oh, by the way, he actually played pretty damn well against Chase Young. So because you're the Cowboys, you have to keep an eye out for a left tackle of the future. I like going Slater here because you know what I think I can do? I can take Slater and put him at left guard. And then I can either make Slater or even Connor Williams, if you want, my long-term left tackle behind Tyron Smith. And by going tackle early, which I don't love to do, but I thought the value was really good for Slater, jumped all over it, I am set on the offensive line. All right, my other round 2 pick, remember this one is from the Chicago Bears, the local kid, Nick Bolton, the linebacker from Missouri. 2 years of very strong production. I know Jeff Kavanaugh, a big fan of him too, by the way. He fared very well in coverage last year. Reason why he might fall despite a really good start to the season with 76 tackles and 7.5 tackles for loss, plus 4 pass breakups and a couple sacks. He's not the biggest guy. He checks in. He's listed at 6 foot, which means he might actually be a little bit under 6 foot. Good build, good stocky build there. I think he's a good athlete too. I don't think his arm length is going to check in the way people want it to. But if you're looking for a linebacker long term, I don't want to spend one in the top 5. But I'm playing with house money. I got a free top 50 pick by trading down and still getting a good corner. Now I can take Nick Bolton, and I got him and Leighton Vander Esch. I can still utilize Jalen Smith if I don't move on from him in the offseason. But I think Bolton at this linebacking core really helps you out in a way that, you know what, Jalen Smith just hasn't this past year. Sean Lee, maybe he's a coach for you next season. You got some other free agents in Joe Thomas. And if you're worried about Leighton Vander Esch's neck long term, I think you can play Nick Bolton at the mic too. Not that the Mike and Will are all that different in the modern NFL, but I like that fit for the Cowboys with Bolton. Plus, helps he's a local kid as well. Now, outside of round one, who are the players that you want to see the Cowboys draft? Let me know what you guys think here in the comment section. Not including the big-time round one guys. Who do you want? Get your votes in. So round three, again, early round three here, by the way. JEVON, HOLLAND, the safety out of Oregon. I did not plan on taking so many opt-outs. That's just how the board happened to fall to me. Now, HOLLAND was really more of a nickel corner last year for Oregon. And I have some run defense and strength concerns, but I really like his fit with keeping in mind the emergence of Donovan Wilson. What does Donovan Wilson do well? I mean, that guy hits hard, right? And JEVON HOLLAND, I don't think he's the hardest hitter. He's actually, as you'll see in this photo, not the biggest, strongest guy. He's listed at 6'1", 196, a little bit light for a safety. But if you're going to put Wilson as your strong safety and HOLLAND as your free safety, who, by the way, great ball skills, what do we all want? We want playmakers in the secondary. JEVON HOLLAND's got 9 interceptions over 2 years. I think he fell further than what I might anticipate him falling to, but I get him at 68. I like that one a lot for the Cowboys. Another big-time faller here, that is Marvin Wilson, who if we had had a discussion around the Cowboys draft at the beginning of the year before the college football season, I'd have put Marvin Wilson in the maybe you take him in round one conversation. So you go, Tom, how is he here at 77 via the Bears? Because you traded down, remember, back in round one. Well, he was not as good this year. Marvin Wilson's 2019, and only 9 games, by the way, 8.5 tackles for loss, 5 sacks. He was one of the most dominant defensive tackles in the NFL, or in the college football, excuse me. But this year, I mean, you don't ever want to just stats scout, but this is indicative of the decline we saw from Marvin Wilson. I don't know exactly what went wrong. He also is out for the year with an injury. But in round 3, heck yeah, I'll take a flyer on him. Hope he's not Eddie Vanderdoes. Hope he ends up having a bounce back year and ends up being a great value in round 3. I can play him at the one technique. Antoine Woods is fine. He's also a restricted free agent who was upset about his contract situation as an ERFA last year. I need more run stoppers on the interior. I think I can get that with Marvin Wilson. I thought about Tyler Shelvin here out of LSU as well. He was also on the board. He was really disruptive last year. He had 10 pressures in 6 games this year. That's a fraction of what he had last season. If the pass rushing comes back, I got a steal. If not, worthwhile gamble. I think he can stop the run for me. Now, today's show is made possible by BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use the promo code you see on screen, Cowboys125. That'll get you a 125% deposit bonus. And if you're a new BetUS customer, if you put down $100, we'll get you a Dak Prescott jersey as well. Email us, cowboys@chatsports.com, if you guys want to get in on that deal. I'll make sure that link gets in the comments and in the description of this video. That is chatsports.com or Cowboys@chatsports.com. Go to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code Cowboys125 to be eligible for this deal. I'm not done making trades yet, folks. I also made one to get another top 100 pick. Yeah, I got 7 top 100 picks. I fixed the defense because trading is fun. Remember, because I got comp picks to play with too this year, baby. Packers get a 4th-round pick, a late 5th, and a late 6th that I don't really need because I can't spend all 13 picks or whatever I was going to have. I moved back up to number 90. At number 90, I chose to pick Hamza Nasruddin, the safety out of Florida State. Now, he was limited to just 1 game so far this season, but I like his fit as a sub-package player. What I am going to try to do with him is utilize him in the Darian Thompson role. That's how I want to use him. He hasn't played much this year. I'm basing it on his 2019 film. He was super productive, hanging out near the box for Florida State. I don't love him in coverage, but I think he could develop into a tight end stopper. If the Cowboys are committed to using Darian Thompson as a dime linebacker, I would much rather see them try Hamza Nasruddin in that particular role. I mean, this stat sheet looks more like a linebacker does than an actual true safety. So I double down at safety. I get two guys to pair potentially with Donovan Wilson long term. I can move on from Xavier Woods, and I think I've solidified my safety issues. Now, Tom, you're going, they'll never take two safeties in the top 100. And you're probably right. But you know what? It's my mock draft. And I'm going to continue to pray and hope that sometime, someday, the Cowboys end up finding a way to actually utilizing safeties early in the NFL draft. Now, let me know what you think the Cowboys' biggest need is. Get your votes in the comments section. Is it safety, corner, defensive tackle, linebacker, DN, kicker, whatever you think it is? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. My final top 100 pick, and I'm going again in the secondary here. I'm going with Elijah Molden, who is not going to be the I love size, speed, and strength and all that, darling. Elijah Molden, undersized. He is a nickel corner. But you know what? Despite the lack of size, Molden's a playmaker. I got another playmaker here for the Cowboys in the secondary. Again, only played 3 games this year. Already has 1 interception and a pass breakup. Last year, 4 interceptions, 12 pass breakups. This is my long-term nickel. So because I got Chidobe Awuzie as a free agent and Jordan Lewis, and I wouldn't mind moving on from Anthony Brown in the near future either, I can roll with Caleb Farley, Trevon Diggs, and Elijah Molden long-term as my 1, 2, 3 at corner. I think that's a damn good, at least promising potential there, and I can still roll out Anthony Brown. So I like that idea for the Cowboys. I thought about going with a linebacker or an edge rusher here, but I couldn't pass up on fixing the coverages that have plagued this Cowboys team for a couple years now, if we're being honest. Now, as we get closer and closer to the NFL draft, we're going to keep letting you guys know what's going on, who the Cowboys are meeting with. We'll do plenty of mock drafts. We even let you guys do a mock draft as well. So if you haven't already, hit that big red button and subscribe today. That way you don't miss out on anything going on around the Cowboys. The season's been rough, but draft season is always fun. All right, a name you might not have heard of before at pick number 136 in the 4th round. Jordan Smith, the edge rusher out of UAB. I think he could be a sleeper. And you see his stats and you go, Tom, why are you taking a guy with 2 sacks in round 4? Well, the sacks are a bit deceptive. He had 10 sacks last season with 17.5 tackles for loss. His pressures are at or near the top of college football almost every single week. He's been super productive. It's just been UAB isn't all that good at football in terms of other defensive options around him. They've been a nice surprise under Bill Clark. I think round 4, sleeper option to develop behind if you bring back Aldridge, which is kind of what I'm planning on here. I think that makes a lot of sense for the Cowboys. All right, I went flyer here in round 6 because I wanted to get one more corner just to try it out. Marco Wilson, he hasn't been that great this year, but he had 3 picks last year, so I'm going to bank on a little bit of a bounce back here. I'm taking a shot on the former 4-star recruit. I honestly wanted to take Jarrett Patterson, the running back out of Buffalo, and he went 3 picks before me, and I was pretty upset by that one, and then I just didn't want to take it back afterwards. And then rounding things out in round 7, I'll go Paddy Fisher. Long-time tackling machine at Northwestern. He's got 58 tackles this year. He's had 100 tackles multiple times in his career. The issue is there are coverage and athleticism concerns around him. I think that will cause him to slide at least a little bit, but I do like Fisher in round 7. Maybe he tests better at the combine, and he goes a lot earlier than this in round 7.